Hello, everyone, and welcome back to this week's episode of That's Bonkers, Bruh, where we talk about the strange and unusual, the interesting, and anything downright bonkers. I'm your host, Mitch.
And I'm Kelsey.
And if you guys could have heard what just took place before we even got started, you would have thought us lunatics.
I'm still feeling punchy. I had a little bit of a laughing episode, and I can't get it together.
It was a fit.
It was a fit.
I'd already started recording, but then ended up cutting it, but it probably would have been great to keep in there.
Yeah, you should have just kept going.
But, I mean, here we are. We're back at it. It is the best time of year.
It is.
Fall is in the air.
Spooky season for me.
Let's wrap this up soon so I can get back to watching football.
Oh, my Lord.
Saturday, college football on like 3 different channels.
I'm basically a single woman this time of year because...
Not true.
Mitch is doing football stuff. So rude. Anyway, today's kind of a hodgepodge. It's a little bit random. We're going to talk about some embarrassing stories.
Not ours.
No, we are going to talk about ours.
Oh, we have one?
I'm going to tell one.
Okay.
And I told you to come up with one as well.
I don't remember that, but I'll be over here not paying attention to what you're saying.
Probably because you were watching football, Mitch, and not paying attention.
Let's be real.
We've already had this whole entire conversation.
Okay.
I need you to come up with an embarrassing story, and if you don't have one, I can think of one for you.
Oh, I'm sure you could. I have no doubt.
I do have one for you. Because
Okay.
when I was thinking about it, I was like, I don't know if Mitch really has any. And then I thought of one.
I'm sure I have plenty of embarrassing moments, but then, you just sort of put those on the shelf.
Well, we didn't have enough. I don't have enough material. We have to incorporate ours. If I'm going to read other people's embarrassing stories, it's only fair that we tell one of ours.
Okay. I'm sure I can think of something.
Okay. Well, again, I've got you covered since you're very ill prepared. Gosh. Anyway, before we get into that, though, I want to talk about a documentary that we watched.
I kind of watched.
Yeah. Mitch watched the last 20 minutes of it because, again, he was watching football. So you were. And so I was watching this documentary by myself because I needed a show to watch by myself. And I was so irate. I'm going to try to not yell into the microphone when I talk about this. I was so irate about this documentary that I had to have Mitch come upstairs and finish it with me. I said, listen, there's 20 minutes left of this. Let me get you up to speed. And then I need you to watch the rest with me because I need someone to make a commentary with because I'm going to yell at the TV and I need you to be here.
This is the second earful of it I'm going to get.
Yeah. I can't stop talking about it. I keep talking to my clients about it at the salon, and after this, I'm going to be so talked out about it. I don't want to talk about it anymore after this. But anyway, it's all over the internet too. I keep seeing videos about it on TikTok and stuff because it's so crazy. Okay. It's this documentary on Netflix. It's called The Unknown Number, The High School Catfish. So if you haven't watched this yet, I am going to spoil it for you right now. So if you care about that, you're going to want to fast forward a little bit or come back later after you've watched it. But if you don't care and you just don't mind to know the details, then stay on board here.
Consider that your spoiler alert.
Yeah, this is a spoiler alert. I'm not going to get too far into the weeds with all the details because that would be a whole entire hour-long thing, and I just don't have the mental capacity to do that. So I'm just going to give you kind of the 10,000 foot overview, and we're going to talk about the craziest part. Okay, so this takes place in Bill City, Michigan. It took place in 2020. There's these 2 kids. I call them little kids because this started when they were the same age as my oldest son. So they were 12 in 7th grade. And this little girl, Lauren, and this little boy, Owen, they're dating, quote unquote dating as much as you can date in 7th grade. Okay. So this girl, Lauren, she gets this random text message from an unknown number. It's a blocked number saying horrendous things to her. Owen doesn't like you. You're so ugly. He wants to be with me. He's going to break up with you. Blah, 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 blah. And was getting all these harassments from this phone number. Okay. So then it stopped for a while and picked back up. I don't know how long of a break it was, but there was months in between where there was a break. And then it started full force, full blown cyberbullying, like text messages every day. They tried to block the number, but they couldn't block it because it was like an unknown number that they were texting through an app. That you come to find out that they were using on a computer later, so they couldn't get rid of it. All day, every day, text messages saying things like, "You're the ugliest person I've ever seen. No one wants to see your ugly anorexic flat ass in those leggings. You should go kill yourself." And then there was all these weird, super sexual text messages about her boyfriend, Owen. And they were like saying, "Owen wants to be with me," and blah, blah, blah. And I'm not even going to repeat exactly what the sexual ones were because it was explicit. And it was honestly just like so disturbing, especially when you come to find out later what was actually going on. Okay, so this is like hardcore cyberbullying. The parents get involved. They're like trying to figure out who could this be. Like talking to the school, talking to the principal, blah, 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 blah. Over a year goes by and it's just constant. The mom of the little boy, Owen, is to her breaking point. Okay, she takes the phone away from Owen and is like, goes to the police and is crying and is like, "I had to take his phone away because he's having suicidal thoughts because this number is just giving him all these negative messages every day saying to kill himself and blah, blah, blah." And she checked his phone, as parents do, and he wrote back to one of them saying, "What I hope you know, I feel suicidal over this." So as any parent would, she freaked out and was crying and was like super upset because nobody wants to see their, kid be bullied all the time. And then you don't even know who it is, so you can't even hold them accountable. So she's like, "I don't want to change their phone number because I want to figure out who this is. This person needs to be held accountable." Like this has now escalated to a felony stalking charge because this has gone on for so long and been so severe. So the police are like, "We have done everything we can. We can't figure this out. We can't track this number. We're handing this over now to the FBI." So they hand it over to the FBI. The FBI does what they do. They trace it back to this IP address of the mother of Lauren, the little girl that's getting harassed day in and day out by this phone number. It was her mom doing this.
And it wasn't like a message here and there. Like it was all day, every dozens, if not hundreds of texts per day over like 20 months or something like that.
I cannot fathom typing out those words and sending them to my child. I can't fathom typing out those words and sending them to any child. She's a literal child, and that's such a developmental age. I don't know, there's just like so much happening at that age to say all those horrible things to her, Dane, and I just literally can't fathom. So you see the body cam footage of them going to the mom's house. Her name's Kendra, this crusty, dusty, musty bitch. Like she needs to put some moisturizer on her damn face. She's got this flaky ass face. I'm sorry, but she's not attractive, and I'm not going to be nice about it because we're past that point. Like, you're going to bully your little kid for 20 months. Well, now I'm going to bully you on this podcast. So I'm not going to be nice about her at all. She's definitely got to screw loose. I've seen pictures of her on the internet compared to Quasimodo, and that's exactly what she freaking looks like, her face. I think she was jealous of her daughter because her daughter's really cute. And I think it's like this weird jealousy thing happening. Anyway, we'll get into that later. So you see the body cam footage where they go to her house and they're like, "We have a warrant to take all of your computers and laptops and everything because we've traced the IP address back to you and we know that this is you." And she just kind of sits there silently and like doesn't deny it. Like she kind of knows she's caught. She doesn't know what to say. They bring the daughter in. They tell her. She's just sitting there not reacting, which was weird. They have the dad come in. The dad had no idea. He's shocked. They're like, "Yeah, she also hasn't been working for several months or for like a year. She got fired." And he's like, "What?" The dad didn't know that she got fired. So this whole time, they think that this Kendra lady, the mom, is going to work every day. She's not. She's just sitting at a computer cyberbullying these little kids all day, every day for months. Like that was her job. And she participated in this documentary, which is so wild. So you're not expecting it to be her because she's like participating in it.
From the beginning.
From the beginning of this documentary. They're talking about like, oh, we went and talked to the principal and we had this clue that we thought it was this girl for this reason. Like she set up another student to make it look like it was her. This girl, Chloe Wilson, was the main suspect in the investigation for a really long time. And it really messed up her social life. Like people didn't believe her. Her parents didn't believe her. She was getting called into the office all the time. So a lot of people were affected by this. So then, the dad's pissed. He's like, we're done. How could you do this? I can't believe you lied to me about getting fired. How could you do this to our daughter? You need to leave. And she like hugs her daughter and is like, I can't leave her right now. I can't leave her. Like, bitch, what do you mean? You've been bullying her for 20 months. I think it's like a weird Munchausen by proxy. Like she wanted to like break her down so she would come to her and like need her mom or something.
Yeah, and I would just add what I had found out kind of later on or towards the end of the documentary is you find out that the mom was so good at this type of stuff because she did have a career in IT. So she knew how to get these sort of roundabout apps set up so that it would be a lot harder to trace back. And as she's being interviewed after being caught, she's kind of just like, I don't know why. I had to do it. I just kept going even though I knew it was wrong.
Yeah, and then she says she wanted to participate in the documentary so that she could state her side of the story, but none of her reasonings made sense because why would they? Because there is no reason that makes sense. So I don't even remember what she said because it just didn't even make sense. She said some things about like, oh, well, the first text message that they got wasn't from me, which is probably a bold-faced lie. Let's be so for real. Wasn't from me. So then I started texting, pretending to be that person because I wanted Lauren to write back and be like, oh, is this so-and-so? So that we could maybe get an idea of who this cyberbully could be. And then it just spiraled from there. What do you even mean? That makes zero sense. Then she said something to the effect of, oh, like I suffered some sexual trauma as a teenager and I was worried about Lauren growing up and I was having a hard time letting her go. So you bully her for 20 months via the cell phone? Like none of it makes any sense at all. And then she literally doesn't think that she did anything wrong. She's sitting there in the interview room or whatever being like, yeah, like a lot of people judge me and they don't know me personally and they don't know my whole story, but they judge me and they think that I'm a bad mom. And yeah, it's because you are.
Yeah.
It's because you are. And you need to put some moisturizer on your damn face because I can't look at the flaky skin for one more minute. I can't do it. She's so awful of a human being.
It was really bad.
I was so upset. I was like yelling at the TV. My youngest son came out of his room. He's like, Mom, can you be a little bit quieter? I'm like, yeah, sorry.
I'm trying to watch TV. I'm trying to play video games.
No, he was trying to go to bed.
Oh, that's right. It was that late.
And I was so fired up. I'm sweaty right now because I'm so fired up. And also it's hot in here. But so anyway, she did end up getting a stalking of a minor charge. Let's see. I think it was in December of 2022. Yeah, December 2022.
She took like a plea deal or something, right?
I can't
because
remember.
It was like better than taking the actual felony stalking because it lasted so long. Like because it surpassed a year, that's when it became a felony charge or something to that effect. But she ended up taking a plea deal, so she only got a couple of years in prison. So she got charged with, in 2022, she got charged with multiple accounts of stalking a minor. And the sentence for that is 19 months to 5 years. And then she got released on August 8th of 2024. So that's how long she served. However long that is. But she will be supervised on parole until February of 2026. And it's weird because it's like, originally the judge ordered that they were not supposed to be in contact. The daughter and the mom were supposed to be in contact. But the daughter wanted to be in contact with her mom still. And even though she was upset with her, she was like saying how she still wanted to have a relationship with her and that she missed her and all that. And it's sad because like she's just at this young kind of pivotal age where girls at that age really do need their mom. And so I think she kind of just put all that
off to the side because like she couldn't deal with what was actually happening and she just wanted to have a relationship with her. But I can 100% guarantee you that as she grows up to be an adult, she will go no contact with her mother. But to do that when you're a young teenager would be really hard.
I swear that it said something, though, at the very end of the documentary that it had been months since she saw her mom or something to that effect.
I think
like it
so,
was just like
but they talked.
It was like a title page at the end that was like Lauren and her mom haven't actually spoken. And
no, so they talked, but she hadn't seen her.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a lot of details to this documentary. It was like an hour and a half long. So like I said, this is just kind of the 10,000 foot overview. But wild. My jaw. I about dislocated my damn jaw because it fell to the floor so abruptly when I learned that it was this Kendra lady.
It's bad enough that they were sending any sort of bullying type of things. But again, the descriptive and, I don't know what the word is, but the descriptive message that she was sending on what she was going to do to Owen and what Owen
what they were gonna do together,
wants
like,
to do to her.
Gross.
And
like
to Lauren boy. And it was, and then just the level of detail about talking about how she should go kill herself and everything. It was awful to actually have a normal human being type those to anyone else. I don't care who you are. It was just like, you'll be taken aback. But then to think that this was a grown woman sending it to a couple of teens. Yeah. It was just absolutely foul.
Yeah. Baffling. So anyway, even if we did spoil this for you, it's still worth the watch. Still go watch it. It was an interesting watch. We've also been watching the Katrina documentary, Come Hell or High Water. That one's more disturbing, I'm going to say. It's a good watch. I feel like it's good to know. I don't know. I just didn't realize the magnitude of how horrific it was for other people. It is really sad, though. We have one more episode left of that. But
yeah, there was a lot because I remember it happening, but it was back in 2004, 2005. So, yeah. I'm a teenager living on the West Coast and it's sad and that there's plenty going on. But when you really see the footage of the thousands of people stuck on the streets, not being able to get out.
A lot of them went to the biodome.
Having to wade through waist-high water of crocodiles and water moccasins and all the disgusting stuff that was in the water just so they could get to dry ground so they weren't stuck in their homes anymore.
It's wild.
It's a lot. It tears at the heartstrings a little bit.
That was another one. Multiple times I was like yelling at the TV like, oh my gosh. Oh my Lord. Like I just had to keep making commentary. So anyway, that's what I've been up to lately. Those are the documentaries I've been watching. Yeah. But on to some lighter notes. Yeah. Mitch.
Let's talk.
Should we get into some embarrassing stories?
We might as well.
Okay. I'm going to tell mine at the end.
Okay. I'll hold mine. I got one in mind.
Did you think of one?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It's one that continues to haunt me to this day.
Okay. So most of these I found on Reddit, but this one is from a hairstylist friend of mine. She said, when I worked at a salon a long time ago, I had Adam Lazara from Taking Back Sunday on my books, and I started panicking because I used to be a huge Taking Back Sunday fan. I had to do a Brazilian blowout and a haircut on him, which means I had to be touching him for literal hours. I tried to play it off like I had no idea who he was and never brought it up, and neither did he. And the receptionist thought it would be funny to play Taking Back Sunday radio on Pandora, so Taking Back Sunday played literally the entire time I did his hair. And I was dying inside, LOL. Glad I survived. No, the way that this would make me sweat through my clothes, that would stress me out so bad.
Yeah, it would have been bad enough that you knew who the person was to be like starstruck, but then to know that your coworkers are playing the practical joke in the background of just having Taking Back Sunday on repeat, and this guy just, he knows that he's just like these freaking little...
I know. How many do you have, Mitchell?
I have a few. None of them are super long. I don't know if they're all inherently embarrassing, but one of the ones that I found recently that I found to be quite comical, again, football season and all that type of stuff, so people are posted up on Saturdays and Sundays, maybe even Monday night, snacks, drinks, the whole nine. And so this story actually came from Jason Kelce, the brother of Travis Kelce, who also was the center for the Philadelphia Eagles.
Okay.
Anyways, he had been watching the games for hours, just like drinking these beers, just pounding them. And he's like, I feel nothing. Like, what's going on? He'd been pounding these things for hours. Come to find out, they were actually Taylor Swift's non-alcoholic Budweisers.
Oh, I didn't know she had that. Of course she does.
It wasn't like her brand or anything, but just like she had brought some non-alcoholics, and he'd slayed all of her non-alcoholic beers. How
annoying.
And he's like, yeah, so it was just a waste of an afternoon, he said. It was so dumb.
That is so dumb. You're just getting those calories for no reason at all. You're like trying to get a buzz and just can't get anything.
Yeah, he talked about it on his podcast and was just like,
that's hilarious.
Couldn't get over how frustrating it was that he'd slammed so many and he said, it was the most amount of shame I've ever felt in my life.
Well, I think you're probably doing all right then in life. Okay, I'm going to read one now, Mitch.
Go for it.
Okay, so this one is from Reddit. It says, recently went on a vacation with some friends, plus a mutual friend who I didn't know that well. Him and I took the pull-out couches, and his was right next to the bathroom. Later one night, when we were all walking around away from our hotel, I got the stomach rumbles. Then the nausea hit. I have never felt so sick in my life. It felt like someone was grabbing my insides and twisting them. The second we got back to our hotel, I made a beeline for the bathroom. Through the paper-thin wall, this guy I barely knew heard me shit pure liquid out of my ass, complete with loud wet farts. Cry and vomit in a trash can in front of me. I spent the rest of the night shivering in bed and making runs to the bathroom. I hit the been married for a decade barrier with them in a single night. Food poisoning is a bitch.
That sounds so bad.
This is my literal nightmare. I would also be crying because I hate throwing up more than anything. And this kind of reminded me of our honeymoon because me and Mitch got sick on our honeymoon from Little Caesars Pizza. Was it Little Caesars?
It was Little Caesars.
And we have not eaten it since. And we've been married for how long? Like 17 years?
It'll be 18 years next month.
We have been married for almost 18 years. I have not had a Little Caesars pizza in 18 years because of our honeymoon. And we weren't like violently ill, but I was dry heaving in the bathroom. And it was like, welcome to marriage. Mm-hmm. You're stuck with me now.
Yeah. And we were just, I mean, normally that's not something you would eat on your honeymoon, but we had just actually
we were really young.
We were really young. We didn't have that much money, but we had actually spent the entire day. We were staying in Palm Springs, but we drove up to LA, Anaheim, and we spent the day in Disneyland. And then we were on our way home and it was late and we're like, oh man, I'm actually kind of hungry. And so it's late. There's very few things that are open. So we're like, oh, we'll just grab Little Caesars. And that was the beginning of our end.
Yeah. I mean, not our end, because here we are 18 years.
Not the end, but the end of health.
Yeah, the beginning of our rear ends, or the ending of our rear ends. Yeah, that was no bueno. I also heard on another podcast recently, someone wrote in and told a story that they were at a family reunion, all staying in a house, and she clogged the toilet and plunged it for 45 minutes, and it wouldn't go down. And then she had to get her mother-in-law to come in and help her. And they had to like fish out the pooey water with like bowls. Like it was a whole thing. If that happened to me, I would just pay one of my kids to take the fall. And they would do it for the right price.
Zeke would. Actually, Roman probably would too.
They're highly money motivated.
He'd probably be proud of it.
Yeah. No, he wouldn't.
He would own it so much that...
No, he wouldn't. But I would pay them off to take the fall for me.
I can see that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, what else you got?
I have another one that I feel like is pretty funny because, so 12, 13 years old is, kind of an awkward time. Mm-hmm. And when you're at about that age, you have to go get more in-depth physicals.
Oh, yeah, I've heard.
So especially like when you're going to play contact sports. I remember when I was about that age, 11, 12, 13, somewhere around there, and having to get the real physical, if you know what I mean, the turn your head and cough type of thing. Mm-hmm. So it was just mortifying as it is because it's just, you're awkward anyways. And so this young man had to go get said physical done. So he was in there already, feeling awkward, but you've got to do it to ensure it. The reason that they do it is to make sure you don't have a hernia, because if you have a hernia, there's like issues with the abdomen wall. You should get that fixed. It's a whole thing. So Anyways, he is getting this physical, and we'll just say he has a physical reaction, an incidental physical reaction. With it's awkward, but maybe got a little bit excited, if you will.
Okay.
A little like ding.
I'm picking up what you're putting down.
And there was a female med student that was there kind of like observing or whatever. And she tried to stay professional, but she couldn't and just blurted out, isn't he a little too young to get one of those? The father exploded in laughter. She couldn't keep it together. She ended up having to leave the room giggling.
Oh my gosh.
So it's just like,
and that kid's in
she's
therapy
embarrassed.
now.
The dad thinks it's comical. This kid's like, I'm never doing this again.
That is really embarrassing.
So embarrassing. Like, it's bad enough that he ended
gosh.
up getting a little boing.
Yeah.
And then being called out by potentially a young
Why would
female.
she say anything? She should have just not said anything. That's so unprofessional. That poor kid. Oh.
She's like, I'm done with medicine.
I guess so. He was like, I'm done with physicals. All right. Can I go? Is that your only one, or you have more?
Well, I have another one. It wasn't that exciting, but it was comparable to your story, I guess, to a certain extent. There was a little bit of what we would call adult time going on, and a cat jumped off and landed on the person's stomach, and they they popped just a little during the sexy time.
Wow.
So
that is
watch out for the cats. They'll betray you.
They will. That would be awkward. I mean, that kills the mood for sure.
I mean, you'd have to laugh a minute. Hopefully it wasn't like a...
But then how do you resume? It's just I don't know.
Like, take a deep breath. Anyways.
Okay. So this one, it's another Reddit user. Says, this was during my sophomore year in math class. I sat between two gentlemen. I was really congested that day and thus pretty tired at the same time. I was resting my head in my hand and hunched over my math book when I felt a sneeze coming. I went to lean back, but apparently didn't move quick enough when the force of this sneeze sent my face hurling into my desk. My head smacked the desk so hard that I bounced back up like a basketball. At that point, I was just dizzy and like, ugh. Meanwhile, the two guys next to me just completely lose their shit. The one on the right is howling with laughter. The one on the left has his face in his hands and is snorting. The teacher looked at us so confused, and all I could say was, I sneezed.
I would love to see that.
I know you would, Mitch. Okay, I got one more.
Go for it.
Okay, I was on an airplane years ago with my girlfriend and her parents. My girlfriend couldn't get a seat next to me and sat directly behind me. During this flight, I thought I would surprise her and reached my hand back onto her knee. Slowly, I kept extending it up her thigh until I heard giggling. Looked behind through the seats and saw that my hand was on the leg of the guy next to her. He saw my face and said, I just wanted to see how far you'd go. Of course, my girlfriend was in on it and started laughing along with the rest of the row. Was so embarrassed.
It'd be a lot to take in.
Yeah. So anyway, those are all I have. As far as my embarrassing story, it happened when I was in 7th grade. I was at a party.
A lot of 7th grade stuff.
I know. It's a hard time to be alive,
it's a lot,
you know? And I stepped on a rake and it hit me square in the face. And it hurt really bad. And all my friends still laugh about it to this day. If any of them are listening to this right now, they're going to be laughing because they still make fun of me because I instantly had like a huge goose egg on my forehead in between my eyes. There were some mozzarella sticks at this party, and somebody picked up a mozzarella stick and compared both length and girth to the goose egg on my head, and it matched. So anyway, then I went home to get my shit together, and my dad laughed hysterically at me. I know you're surprised.
So shocked.
I'm like, okay, I'm dying over here. I could have a concussion, but no, everyone's just laughing at me.
So like straight up like a cartoon. You stepped on it and
yes.
It just... Whoosh.
What I was trying to do, I saw it and I was trying to step on it so that it would raise and I could grab it with my hand because I didn't want to bend down.
It's got a bit aggressive.
But I lost my balance and tilted too far forward. So it just flung up with such velocity and hit me square between the eyes. Like, I can't believe it didn't break my nose.
Yeah.
Probably because the tip of it is so squishy.
Yeah.
Like, it hit so hard. I was seeing stars.
Chin must have been kind of tucked down.
I don't know, man. It must
forehead.
have. Like, I was seeing stars. It was so embarrassing. I'll never recover from it.
I believe that.
So that was it.
Yeah, my story also, I'm having a hard time recovering from, and it was 22 years ago-ish, give or take, 23, something like that. Had my learner's permit, and I was starting to learn how to drive.
Oh, yeah.
And
I know where this is going.
Yeah, my parents continue to talk about, they just randomly bring it up. They're just like, hey, you remember the time? I'll never forget. Yeah. So anyways, I didn't have my own car at the time. I was driving. I think I was heading to the grocery store or something like that with my dad. And so he's like, hey, you want to drive? I'm like, sure, that sounds great. The house I was living in, my parents' house at the time, was this driveway was really steep, but it was steep into the garage, not like...
Yeah, it was a really weird
setup. It was like you had to like come kind of over the hill down the driveway to get into the garage. And it was steep. It was really steep.
Yeah, steep down into the garage.
Yeah.
Not up to the garage.
No, not up to the garage, down into the garage. So I had to back out of the driveway. And so I went ahead and put it what I thought was in reverse. And I knew getting out of the driveway, I'd done this before, you got to give it gas as soon as you let off the brake, because if you don't give it gas, like it kind of like goes forward, right? It's an automatic, but still kind of like...
Yeah, you got to commit.
It was so steep that it would like roll forward, and so you had to quickly hit. Anyways, I slammed it into drive though. But I had my hand behind the passenger seat, was looking over my shoulder to make sure that all was clear, hit the gas and blew right through the garage.
Right through the garage door.
Right through the garage door. So it almost went all the way like into the garage. Like if I would have gone another 3 feet, I would have been in my parents' bedroom.
Yeah, it's a good thing that the garage door was down.
Yeah.
Because if it wasn't, you probably would have gone through the
Highly
house.
probable. And it like... So damage to the truck, damage to the garage door. We had to get a new one. My parents had also just got like a brand new SUV that was in the garage. So that got wrapped, the garage got wrapped around the tailgate. Like I did some damage.
I bet you did. Was your dad super pissed?
That's an understatement.
That's
absolute understatement.
But I could see how it would happen. Like I could totally see how that accident would happen.
Yeah, like have you ever just like accidentally popped it into drive or popped it into reverse when it should have been drive, and you're like, oh shoot, shouldn't have done that.
And because of how steep that driveway was, it's like there's not enough time to correct yourself.
Nope.
Like I could totally see how you would have done that.
Yep.
Well, I backed up into my dad's truck one time.
I remember hearing about it.
I was in the garage. He was parked in the driveway, opened up. I was like 16, opened up the garage, didn't even look behind me because I was in my garage. So I just didn't think there was going to be anything behind me. And ding, hit his truck. It like shook really hard. It was fine though. Yeah, it was a big truck with a big bumper. I didn't cause any damage. But also there was another time. I had a lot of bad experiences driving as a teen. My poor parents, I probably gave them a heart attack. There was another time I was driving on Riverdale Road, which is busy. It's very rubber bandy. And I had this cute little Honda with a sunroof, and I was driving, and I saw my friend driving with his mom, and stuck my hand out the window and was like, oh, it's so-and-so, hi, and then boom, hit this person in front of me, and they watched the whole thing. It was so embarrassing. His mom was like, that girl that was waving at you just rear-ended somebody. Gosh.
Who was this?
I'll tell you later. I don't know if I should say people's names on here. But anyway...
We could probably go on and on.
So that was embarrassing.
Sure, given more thought.
I've got another one for you. Should I say it?
You might as well.
It's not that bad. You won't be too embarrassed. When your band, Mitch was in a band.
Was.
In high school. He was a screamer. And you guys were playing a show at a house.
Yep, I know where this is going.
And you jumped up and hit your head on the light.
Oh, yeah. It was crazy, too. I like have vivid memories, right? So
you hit it hard.
It's a house party, and we're crammed in there. We were a 5-member band plus like, I don't know, a lot of kids. There was a lot of kids. Like we were crammed in this house.
Her parents were out of town. It was a full house party.
And so, the music's kind of getting started and I was getting amped. So I did a couple of those small jumps and then I did one big jump and my head just hit this dome hanging chandelier looking thing.
Yeah, dust went everywhere.
Dust plumes all up in the air. I hit the ground. Had a goose egg on the top of my head. Like, I hit hard.
Not as hard as the rake hit my face.
Well, you had another incident at another house party where you
yeah.
also got hit over the head with a garden tool.
That wasn't my fault, though. That was really just an accident.
It was an accident.
I was at a house party. There was a band playing in the garage. Lots of garage incidents. We just need to stay out of garages. A band in a garage. There was a mosh pit. Because I was in a garage, there was like tools hanging up on the wall. And I got pushed into the wall. And a shovel fell off the wall and hit me in the head and split my head open. And I was bleeding pretty bad.
Yeah.
But I didn't go home.
Why would you?
I stayed for the whole party, and then we went to Denny's after.
Oh, Denny's.
I'm pretty sure I had a concussion, and I think I needed stitches, but I just didn't do it. And I still, to this day, like, that part of my head is kind of sensitive. Not as bad as it used to be, but it was really sensitive for a long time. I am pretty certain that I had a concussion. But did I go to the doctor? No. But I was sick. I was, like, sick the next day.
Yeah.
It was pretty bad. So anyway, my friend came over across the mosh pit and was like, oh my gosh, are you okay? I'm like, I don't know. That really hurt. And he's like, oh, well, your head's bleeding. So I just fully panicked. I had like all this dried, crusty blood in my hair. And then we went to Denny's.
Yeah.
Had some pancakes. Made it all better.
Denny's does that when it's like, you
Yeah.
know, after hours, well after dinner.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think we should stop while we're ahead before
Probably.
we embarrass ourselves any further.
Yeah, I agree. But before we go, I want to give a special shout out to our latest young man,
Oh my gosh.
Hinckley, who's throwing out some positive reviews out
He
there.
threw out a positive review. Thank
Fire,
you,
he
sir.
says.
Oh my gosh.
So,
Shout out.
big shout out to Hinckley. Thanks for the positive reviews.
We love a positive review.
Anytime you guys can get out there to leave us a review on Spotify, Apple, anywhere that you see stuff, we'd very much appreciate. It's the only way for us to continue to do this and hopefully gain a little bit more of an audience.
Yeah. And, you know, I think we have overshared today. So I think we've earned a review. I do. Also, if you have any embarrassing stories that you'd like us to read on another segment, we will keep you anonymous. So write it in. Text me if you know me personally, or send us a DM on our Instagram page, because I think these are fun.
Yeah, this was a good time.
And it makes us all just more human. You know what I mean? Like, you can't take life too serious. It's never that serious.
And I love when we can just get laughing hard about
Yeah, I knew you'd be laughing.
funny Amazon reviews.
Well, I knew you'd be laughing about that one where she was shitting in the bathroom.
It's
because
pretty rough.
That's always funny to you.
It'd be like that.
Okay.
So anyways, let's wrap it up here.
All right. Thanks for listening.
Thanks, everybody. We'll see you next time.
Bye.